living in the flow of miracles, living in the flow of miracles, living in the flow of miracles. Yeah, on your feet. Living in the flow of miracles. We're living in the flow of miracles. Living in the flow of miracles. Living in the flow of miracles. Well, how it works, I don't have to know. Well, I can be happy just living in the flow. How it works, I don't have to know. Well, I can be happy living in the flow. Well, how it works, we don't have to know. We can be happy just living in the flow. How it works, we don't have to know. We can be happy living in the flow. Living in the flow of miracles. Living in the flow of miracles. Living in the flow of miracles. We're living in the flow of miracles. We're living in the flow of miracles. 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 How it works, I don't have to know. I can be happy living in the flow. How it works, I don't have to know. I can be happy living in the flow. How it works, I don't have to know. I can be happy just living in the flow. How it works, I don't have to know. I can be happy living in the flow. Living in the flow of miracles. Living in the flow of miracles. Living in the flow of miracles. Living in the flow of miracles.
Thank you, Sammy. Well, good morning again, and welcome all of you people on Zoom or watching on Facebook or YouTube. I am just been really jazzed by the weather this past week. It's been so beautiful, and those frosty mornings and then giving way to sunny afternoons has just been invigorating for me, and I hope it has been for you too. Unity of Kent is a welcoming congregation. We invite people of all races, creeds, colors, lifestyles, political persuasions, economic status to join us on our path of spiritual enlightenment and evolvement. Our teachings are based on those of Jesus as well as core New Thought principles. And it is our pleasure to practice what we preach to the best of our ability, that spiritual principle has no power, that ethics have no impact unless we are willing to live them out in our daily life. So I'd like to open the rest of the service, as Sammy opened with music, open with prayer this morning. So I invite you to take a deep breath, and however you prepare yourself internally to be open and receptive to divine inspiration, to do that now. And as we allow our bodies to relax, tension just flows out of us and dissipates. We calm our mind, bringing it to the focus of this present moment, here and now. There is one presence and power in the universe. We call this presence and power God. This presence and power has many names. many ways of being engaged with. The same presence and power is the very nature of our spiritual lives. It is the energy of life, love, peace, wisdom, direction. And it is our good pleasure to be an expression of the attributes of God in the world. That I acknowledge each one of you today have come to this place, not out of happenstance, but by divine appointment. And that for each of you this morning there is a gift of spirit. And it may come through music, through a phrase. It may come through fellowship. It may come in prayer or meditation. But whatever it is, it sparks your imagination and enlivens your spirit. And it is making a difference in your life right now. And so we remain open and expectant to what is ours to receive. As in gratitude, we say thank you. And so it is. Amen.
Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. So get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done, everything I've ever seen, everything I've lost or won, and everything I've ever dreamed has brought me here to the present moment, here to a new beginning here. And I'm seeing life so clearly now. So get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. So get ready, my soul. 'Cause here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. And here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. And here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. So get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done, and everything I've ever seen, everything I've lost or won, and everything I've ever dreamed has brought me here to the present moment here, to the new beginning here. And I'm seeing life so clearly now. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. So get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul.
Always so wonderful when Sam's here. So good morning. Welcome to Unity of Kent. Thank you for joining us this morning. And for those of you on Zoom, thank you for being here. I see some new faces today, so thank you for coming. Patty's talk today is about release. And I was reading a story the other day about an elephant. And these people noticed that the elephant was chained, but the chain was so he could break it because he's a big elephant. So they asked the keeper, why doesn't the elephant just break his chain? And the keeper said, well, when he was a baby, we put the same chain on him, so he knew as a baby he couldn't break that chain. So what is it in your life that you're tethered to, that you can't break away from? So the announcements, let's start with our statement of faith. There is one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotence. I trust and align with that power of goodness now. So the announcements today, the Quest class continues. This will be the last class for the year? No? Okay. Okay. So it's on Tuesday evenings on Zoom. You can get it on our website and just go into the events channel and hit the Zoom button and you'll be in there. 6:30 to 7:30, Quest class. It's a great class. It helps you find your deeper self, your deeper spiritual self. So if you feel like it, join us this Tuesday. Then on Wednesday is the Spirit Talk with Reverend Patty, and that's at 10 a.m. on Zoom. And again, you can go on our website and find that event. It's a lively discussion. It goes many different directions sometimes, so that's always kind of fun. Then on Tuesday after Thanksgiving, November 29th, we're going to decorate the church for Christmas. And we're going to start that at 10 a.m. on Tuesday morning. So anybody that can join us to come down and put up some garland and a tree and stuff, please join us that morning at 10 a.m., November 25th. Taxes, we still would like a little help if you have a little extra cash in your pocket. If you could help us get the taxes paid, that would be wonderful. The virtue today is tolerant. Being tolerant shows a willingness to allow opinions or behavior that I may not necessarily agree with. It is essential to be open-minded and respectful of others, just as they are. Being unbiased allows us to learn from each other. And the affirmations, if you'd like to say them with me: I am tolerant, I accept others, I accept myself, I appreciate diversity. And the daily word today is grace. I think I saw that over here. It's bigger print. God blesses my life in every way. If I'm feeling overwhelmed or find myself in the midst of conflict, I don't need to struggle. Grace, the ceaseless activity of divine love, is mine to claim. This infinite resource of spirit carries me through even the most challenging circumstances. It is expressing in my life right now. I need not learn grace. It is never withheld. Just as the water flows when I turn the tap, saying yes to grace is all I have to do for divine life, love, wisdom, and strength to flow freely to every part of my life. Centered in grace, I am at peace. My thinking is clear, and I possess ample understanding, compassion, and insight. Drawing from this divine gift, I bring harmony and joy to my relationships. I move forward with renewed confidence, energy, and efficiency. He said to me, "My grace is sufficient for you, for power is made perfect in weakness." 2 Corinthians 12:9. So you have a little golden piece of paper in your program. If you have a prayer and you would like to write that out, Barbara, would you like to collect those? If people have a prayer, you can give it to Barbara. We'll put it in the box. And for those on Zoom, if you want to unmute, and if you have a prayer you'd like to share.
I'd appreciate prayers for healing. Some of my medications are being altered, and some of my reactions are a little nerve-wracking. So, support and prayer for healing.
Can't
Thank
unmute?
you. I'm unmuted.
Okay. I asked him to unmute. No? Okay. If you want to say a prayer and you're on Zoom, you'll need to unmute in order to do that.
Bottom left-hand corner.
Eh?
I am unmuted, but I don't know if I'm
No?
being heard.
Okay. I apologize. I should have told you about your forms up front. Do you want to try again and unmute? It's at the left-hand corner of your screen
Yeah,
is the mute
okay.
button or unmute button.
Well, this says I'm unmuted now, but I don't know if you're hearing me or not.
You can always email your prayers to unityofkent@yahoo.com.
Yeah. Just prayers for healing, please.
Who was that?
That was Renee, and I'm looking for prayers for healing as some of my medications get adjusted and some of my reactions are a little uncomfortable. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Renee. And we will hold prayers for you for healing. And so throughout the month, we gather all the prayer requests from our services and put them in our prayer box, where there are held in prayer by this community. And then they're sent to Silent Unity after a month and receive another month of prayer. And so it is our pleasure to support all of those who are in need, all of those who who are reaching out for strength and for prayer. And here in this congregation, we have a practice of rubbing our hands together to get the energy going. And then we direct that energy to our prayer box. And for all of the prayers in here that are written, and for those in our hearts, those that are unspoken, but live deeply in our souls, we direct our energy of support. We declare that there is one presence and one power active in the universe. This power and presence has no opposite. It is absolute good. This is the power and presence in our own lives and in the lives of our loved ones. It is the animating force of life, love, and healing. And so whatever it is you have on your heart, as we release it into the universe with faith and confidence, our word is returned fulfilled. And so we speak our word in this moment, that each one, according to their circumstance and in perfect timing, is now led to their highest and best. Grateful for the power of prayer, the ability to focus, and the great gift of choice. We let go and let God be God in all of our lives. And so it is. Amen.
So now, for those in the sanctuary, it's time for handshakes and hugs, and we will be right back.
Dakota's mic is coming out the monitors way loud. I thought we did. The piano's mic'd. So, hey, give thanks. Hey. Huh? There was only love and seed. That's it. after the service. After when I get up. Yeah. Yeah. I have never wanted time to go so slow. It's when I'm watching my little boy grow. When he took his first small step and toddled by, I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. When it's time, we're all gonna learn how to walk. When it's time, he's gonna learn how to talk back. When it's time, well, there's no stopping that clock. When it's time. I have never wanted time to go so fast, paying dues like I've been paying to the last, singing songs for friendly strangers in a tiny town. Might not be the best way to be found. When it's time, I'll write the songs I'm supposed to write. When it's time, I'm gonna step out in the lights. And when it's time, well, the music will be mine. When it's time. And who can say where or when our story will end or begin again? We can try to hold back the tide, but everything comes and goes, and nobody really knows. I have never wanted time to stand so still. Thought we could live forever just by force of will. But the day will come when we'll have to say goodbye, and we may never know the reason why. But when it's time, we have just so many years. When it's time, so much laughter, so much tears. And when it's time, we go back to where we're from. When it's time. Ooh.
All right, we'll try this out. Okay, good morning. How am I doing? Okay, great. We've been having sound issues this morning, challenges, difficulties, if you want to call them difficulties. But it's been wonderful because with each challenge, with each difficulty, we're learning something new. And that's the best, right? Well, I suppose I'm going to have to address this because it's like the elephant in the room. Not literally, but that I was surprised this morning And then it is a benevolent conspiracy, I was told. But I have three of my school friends, life friends, here this morning. And these are the bonds that go way back. And perhaps you have those in your life too, that you maintain relationships over decades. And this is one of those cases here, that these three women here I went to grade school with, and then high school, and then today. We've seen each other a little shortly, a little bit during the space of those times. But anyway, you blew me away. I am verging on a stroke, but we'll just go through it. I think once I get started, it'll be fine. And though I can't see you on Zoom, I know you're there, and I really appreciate your presence. And I hope that you can feel a connection with us here in the sanctuary. I'm supposing that in probably every church today, that there's going to be a theme of Thanksgiving, that will be the talk title, since Thanksgiving is coming up on Thursday. Not so today here, because I forgot about Thanksgiving. Not that it's coming up, but just that it was coming up so soon. Sammy's song about time. There was a place in the back of my mind that I was very aware of Thanksgiving coming up, but in actuality, in terms of actual planning, in a liturgical sense, it went right out of my head. So today, rather than giving thanks and thanksgiving and talks on gratitude, I want to speak on the power of release. The power of release. Release is something that has many names. It can be called surrender. It can be called letting go. It can be called liberation. Freedom, the breaking of bonds that bind us. Over the past years, I've talked about letting go, letting God, being free, changing your mind, releasing many, many times. Not only have I been fascinated by the phenomena of release, but in my own spiritual experience, I have been consciously and consistently working with it, working with release on a daily basis. And so here I am once again making it the subject of yet another talk. It must be really important for me, and it is. And it's really important for me as a spiritual teacher, as a minister here in the church, which my utmost aim, I consider it my job to not only experience the highest and the best life that I can experience, but also okay, I got some weaving. Okay, now just a minute. I think there's something. Am I going to be in conflict with what I'm wearing and what I'm holding? I know that sounds weird. Oh boy, yeah. This is my not. I won't say worst fear, but it's been a long time since I've been shocked, and I don't like it. So this morning I'm here talking about release again. I think it's very important. I think it's absolutely a crucial activity in our lives in order to go forward and to expand and grow. Each week on our webpage there's a little blurb about what the talk is going to be, a little description, and it's composed by Diana Keys. I think she's a wonderful wordsmith, and she can put into her descriptions things that are very, very inspiring. And this inspired me. So these are her words about today's service. Release is not letting go and giving up. Release can become empowering when you let go and let God take charge of how things will work out for you. Just let that sink in a little bit. I'm going to read it again. Release is not letting go and giving up. Release can become empowering when you let go and let God be in charge of how things will work out for you. I'm sure you've all experienced the feelings, not the idea, not the experience, but the feelings of giving up. That the energy of giving up is devastating. It implies that a long struggle and copious amounts of effort having been expended toward the achievement of some goal or some desire isn't working out. There's a sense of not enoughness in giving up. Like, I just don't have the strength. I don't have the power, the gifts, the right attitude, the right techniques, the smarts, the skills. Maybe not enough faith, the tools, or the imagination to make whatever it is I want to come about in my life, to experience that manifestation, to have that fulfillment. Giving up is riddled with defeat. The harder we try, the harder we think, the harder we feel, focus, or pray, doesn't seem to change the circumstances. And it feels awful. And it tries our faith. And perhaps it's that sense of defeat that keeps us from releasing in a powerful way. True release is an act of heroism, I think. It's stepping back from all that we know and placing our trust, our belief in something that cannot be proved directly, but only can be known by its effects. Here in this philosophy, God is not a being. God is not a being that can reassure us with its presence. Rather, God is a presence that is experienced in its effect on our reality. But, and this is a very big but, we must always make the first move. We make the initial shift. It's rarely that it's the other way around. We are the initiators. Letting go and letting God can be the single most powerful thing we can do on our path towards fulfillment and transformation. It's a supreme act of trust and faith. And so what do we have faith in? Well, we have faith in the nature of God. What is the nature of God? Absolute good. The nature of God is absolute good in this philosophy. And what is the will of absolute good? Right, more good. There's all kinds of ways in which we work against ourselves and against the realization of our greatest good. We affirm prosperity, but we resist generosity. We affirm love, but we resist reconciliation and cooperation. We affirm health, but we resist healthy habits. We affirm peace, but we maintain stressful lifestyles. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, but it's true. We do that. I really love the daily word reading today, which was grace. So much so, and I think it fits in here, that I'd like to go through it again. That grace blesses my life every day. That which we experience at grace is the movement of the divine through our lives in a way that uplifts and upholds us. If I am feeling overwhelmed or find myself in the midst of conflict, I don't need to struggle. Grace, the ceaseless activity of divine love, is mine to claim. And this infinite resource of spiritual power carries me through even the most challenging circumstances. Grace is expressing in our lives right now in this moment. I need not earn grace, it is never withheld. Just as water flows when I turn the tap, saying yes to grace is all I have to do for divine life, love, wisdom, and strength to flow freely to every part of my life. Centered in grace, I am at peace. My thinking is clear, and I possess ample understanding, compassion, and insight. Drawing from this divine gift, I bring harmony and joy to my relationships. I move forward with renewed confidence, energy, and efficiency. In other words, grace, the allowance of grace is just that, the allowance of grace. It is the release of our own agendas. It is the release of our own plans. I'm sure you're very familiar with the phrase, oh, now that I bring it up, I need to remember it. All you need to do is to make God laugh is to tell God your plans. And I certainly experienced that this week. I had 3 days planned out, right down to what I was going to have for dinner, and it all got turned upside down. In our Quest class, we have been going through basic metaphysical principles, and we've been exploring them in a way that is very practical and is very applicable to our lives every single day. And chapter 27 was on release, and it presented the idea that we have come to call in this church, at least those practicing, repot. And it's a way of shifting our thinking, shifting the energy, of pulling away from what we think we need to do to bring about what it is we desire. Because we work so hard at that, don't we? We work so hard in arranging our lives and doing the right things so that our heart's desire can be fulfilled. And yet, you come to church on Sunday on November 20th, and there's the minister saying, release and let go. Don't work so hard. Life isn't meant to be hard. It's meant to be easy. And it is easy. It is easy, surprisingly easy, unimaginably easy when we let go and we let God. And so in this class and release, there's this little formula that when we've been, and I don't care what activity it is, if you're looking for your keys or trying to figure out an electronic problem on a Sunday morning, or whatever challenge may come up into your life, according to this method, this repot, is stepping back when you find yourself getting all worked up emotionally and frustrated, and where are those things I just put down, those important papers, that check, that address, that you step back from that you just let it go, that you remove yourself from your own stress. And as you do that, here's the P in repot, that you access that part in you that is peace, that is peaceful. And we all have it, no matter what the circumstances are, no matter what kind of chaos we're in, we do have a natural spiritual center of peace. And so we go to that place of peace. We're letting go, we're stepping back from the issue, going to peace. And then we allow ourselves to be open. This openness is a receptivity. It is a letting go of how I think it should be done, what I think I need to do in order to accomplish it, how other people have to come together to support me bringing about what it is I want. It's putting all of that aside. It's being open to a surprise. It's being open to something we may not have even thought about. It's being open to grace. And then in that openness, We trust. That's the T of Repot. We trust. Have any of you gone ziplining? Zip lining, you know, where you climb a tree and then you step off into space? No? Okay. Well, my oldest son and I went ziplining many years ago. Haven't done it since. But there was a time when I initially did it. And so this is directly related to the trust part of Repot. And so all the people who are going ziplining, it's sort of like a ropes course up in the trees. This was in British Columbia. And we have a helmet, so I got my helmet on. We have a harness. We have our harness on. It's buckled in 3 different places, so we're feeling secure. This is good. And then the elevator takes us up very high onto a platform in a tree. And that's fine because there's railings all around and we're all excited and we're going ziplining. And so 100 feet into the future, there's our landing spot. And so we're hooked up to this line, and it's a very capable line. However, it looks really small. It's just a cable, and it's like. Then we're asked to step off the platform and begin our experience. I looked down, and it was very far. And I looked out, and there was just space. And I stood there on the platform in the tree for what seemed like maybe 16 days before I had the courage to let go and to zip. And you know those little tiny feelings in your stomach that becomes your overwhelming experience? That was mine. And so I stepped off the platform and I zipped off to my landing point. And my initial feeling was relief because I was still up in the tree. I didn't fall. And then I went off and slammed into the next tree, which was the landing point, fairly easily. And then realized I did it, and I didn't die. And then there was a next line. There was about 10 lines, and so the next one was a little easier. And so I went to the edge, and I drew back a little bit, and then I took off. By the third, my arms were out. I was leaning back, and the great yoo-hoo. Well, that's what we need. That's the kind of experience that is necessary in our spiritual growth and transformation with letting go and letting God. With letting go and letting God, because we let go of everything we think in our human lives that we have to do, and our culture tells us to. That you have to work for what you get, that life is hard, that you have to have connections, that you have to know the right people and be in the right place at the right time, and all of that is not the truth. All of that is not the truth. What is the truth is that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and that our primary identity is that of spirit. And as that identity of spirit, we embody all the attributes that we attribute to God, because we are the living presence of the divine within whatever circumstance we're in. Which means that in terms of prosperity, that all we could ever want and need is already available. In terms of health, we are whole already. That in terms of relationships, we are loved beyond measure. And yet, we still look for markers to prove it. And the only proof that we can offer ourselves is to live it. And by living it, we need to let go every day of that little voice that says, you can't, you're not enough, there's nowhere to go. You have to do it on your own. You don't. We just have to be what we innately are already. We have to be the spirit we are created as, and to live it. Like I said in the very beginning, it's not enough to know these principles. It's not enough to know truth. It's not enough to read. It's not enough to meditate. It's not enough to pray. What is truly necessary is to do, is to be, is to live out our destiny as spiritual beings fulfilled in every way by letting go. And that is the power of release, that when we release our small ideas, when we release our limitations, we launch ourselves into infinity and all the possibilities that that holds for us. So I would just like to shift a little bit to a time of meditation. If it's comfortable for you, close your eyes. However you enter into prayer, into meditation, into quiet, do that now. By taking a deep breath, find your natural rhythm of inhale and exhale, and let that rhythm cast a mantle of peace within your soul. That we are in our right place at the right time, always. And this is the right place and the right time. The right place and the right time to remember ourselves, to remember who we are, to remember our divine inheritance, and to act on it. So as we go a little deeper, continuing to relax and to be open, we make ourselves available to divine ideas and inspiration. And what I would like to offer in this experience is to let rise to your consciousness just one area, one thing in your life that you perceive as holding you back from a larger sense of freedom. Just one. And as you perceive this area, to greet it not as an adversary, but as a friend. For this one comes to you and offers the gift of release, of trust. It's revealing itself to you so that you can move forward. And so right now, to the best of your ability, as completely as you can at this moment, release it from you. Realize that this blockage is not the truth of you. And for the next few moments in silence, imagine what your life would be like to have moved beyond this block. Today is the day. The moment is now. That I step off the platform of my stuckness and sail freely to another shore. And so it is. Amen.
In this moment and in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
I'd just like to do a closing note on this repot business, the releasing, finding peace, opening, trusting. That as I personally work with this process, I have found that my life has become easier and easier, that there has been a significant reduction of stress and anxiety in my life. And I know that as we use it, this process, not only in my personal life, but in the life of this church, that it too has been a doorway to miracles. And so I strongly, strongly recommend that you try it out. That release has power. Release allows us to enter into realms of infinite possibility that we never thought or could think of on our own. So now I'm going to shift into our offering time. This is a time when we get to put into practice these principles and to release that we, for me, this time of our service is, and I've said it so many times, but it's so true, that this is the sacrament. This is the sacrament of our service for me, that it is a time where I put my action into tangible activity, trusting the universe to uphold and uplift me without fear of not enoughness. And whenever I am in a place of feeling not enoughness in terms of finances, I give more. I up it, and I'm never, ever disappointed. And so it's our good pleasure to practice, to enter into the flow, the circulation of universal abundance, prosperity. And our offering statement is behind me. So once again, this is a time in our service where we rub our hands together and send this energy. And we'll say the statement and then we'll do a blessing. Divine love flowing as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. And I affirm and am grateful for these gifts flowing from the lives of each one here. And I see them going forward, supporting a work of benevolence and transformation, not only within the community of our church, but also in the larger community, as we as a community tithe on all that comes to us to the larger community of Kent. And so may these gifts flow freely, supplying support to whatever need they are destined for. And so it is. Amen. What? Oh, that's it. We're going into our peace song. Yeah. So that's our service for today. And did you want to do another song? Yeah, it is over. All right. So, and to do this, we come to the circle and we hold hands, if that's okay for you. And we sing our peace song, and then afterwards we'll do our prayer of protection.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, united walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace and harmony. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God will protect us, and the presence of God watches over us. So wherever we are, God is. One more time. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And wherever we are, and wherever we are, God is, 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 God is.
Oh, be good to yourself this week. And have a wonderful, thank you people on Zoom, thank you people here in the sanctuary, and now you should take yourself out to a cup of coffee. Yeah, all right.
There's more than coffee down there.
All right.